We'll figure out who's number one. But you know you got Ohio State, LSU, Clemson in some order, and then Georgia, right? Any question? And now when it comes down to Oklahoma, Utah, somebody else?
Well, we got some clarity, didn't we? Alabama
did,
no longer in the discussion. Now it comes down to conference champions, most likely. And which of those couple conference champions that are in play right now are going to be able to have the best resume to push their way into the top four?
Well, to me, what's going to be interesting is after the championship games, who's going to be seated at 1? Because right now you have an LSU team right now that is angry, and they played angry today. They played focused. They played with an edge, particularly when you're talking about the defensive side of the ball. So it's going to be a fight for the number 1 spot. Don't think LSU is not going to come into this SEC championship game ripping and roaring to regain that 1 spot, because Ohio State looks mighty good, guys.
That's the question. Who should be number 1? These are really your 3 contenders. These are the 3 that are far and away, it seems like, better than anybody else in the country. If you were on that committee, which of these 3 teams would you be pushing for to have at number 1? Whether you use eye test, resume, or whatever.
I would say, based on what I've seen, I would have to say Ohio State is the number 1 spot. I'm going to tell you why. Because when I look at an offense, I see a complete offense. I see a quarterback that's a difference maker. I see players all around him. You got the tailback there, Dobbins, it's a difference maker. And then you've got a defense to complement the offense. When you talk about national championship teams, yes, you want to score points. Yes, you want to be complimented by that defense. I can't necessarily say that about LSU when they give up 400+ yards against Ole Miss running the ball. And I've seen LSU's defense be too sporadic. I would love to say I want LSU at the 1 spot. But if you're going to say go on the eyeball test and what you've seen, I don't know how, especially the way they beat Michigan down today, I don't know how you can't put them in the 1 spot.
I will respectfully disagree with you because I think LSU is the better team. I know you can look at the rankings and say, hey, now at the end of the season, they only had 3 top 25 wins versus the 4 that Ohio State had. But I think going on the road against Texas, that win now may not look as attractive as it did then. They played tougher teams throughout the entire stretch of the season, and they played with great consistency on offense. And you don't think that defense heard the committee talking about why they jumped Ohio State in front of LSU? They blamed it on the defense, and the defense today came out 6 sacks today, 3 interceptions. They did what they did to show me that they are a complete team as well.
Thing to watch for. Who is going to be number 1 matters, because if it's LSU or Ohio State and you get matched up with, let's say,
outdoors.
It's happened before and it happened again. Some of the most agonizing moments for Alabama football in recent years via the kicker. Remember 2011? 4 missed field goals at home in a 9-6 loss to LSU. That was the last time they'd lost to LSU until this season. 2 years after that one, a particular missed field goal led to the most memorable moment in the history of the Iron Bowl, the old kick 6. And then on this day, why don't we call this one Kick Sticks? As Joseph Bulovas
too soon
hits the upright. But, guys, it wasn't all the kicking game here. As we go behind the play presented by the Army National Guard, Bo Nix had a little to do with the Auburn win.
Auburn has a freshman quarterback that's 19 years old, that's grown up around Auburn football, that's dreamed of playing in Iron Bowls. Today, his first, he did pretty well.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, CD, I love the way he threw the ball. He was aggressive early. He ran the ball. And I'm going to show you a couple of things that I really liked as this game went on. This was early in the game, and I love the formation. What they did is they put a trips formation out here because they wanted to declare where the safety was. Well, where is the safety? The safety right now is here. What do they know when he's there? They know if they have the one-on-one shot with Seth Williams, the safety can't become part of the play. Now, as this thing unfolds, he's one-on-one with Trayvon Diggs. He outside releases, and it's a back shoulder fade. And CD, look at this tiptoe on the sideline. 17 yards down the field. They attacked him early, was very aggressive. Great throw.
They trusted the freshman to take shots down the field. We saw it a couple times. I like what they did here, too. Formationally, you'll get an opportunity to have a stack formation for these receivers. What that does, it allows one guy to press, but Hastings is going to go outside to hold the corner, and now essentially you're going to have a slot fade with Seth Williams on the corner with the corner pinned inside. And at the snap of the ball, immediately, look what Bo Nix does. He holds the safety with his eyes.
Yeah, I like that.
Right here, there's a single high, and look at the safety's eyes over there. He's looking to that side of the field because of Bo Nix's eyes, and then a great throw here becomes just a slot fade where the safety can't get over in time. It's one thing to see it, but the execution of the throw was another.
Oh, my God, that was amazing accuracy. Now, let's look down here in the low red zone. Here's what we know. Down here in the low red zone, everybody in America better be aware of quarterback run. They're just going to run a regular old zone read, and Nix is going to read the in man on the line of scrimmage. It's real simple, CD. If he closes too far, he's going to pull the ball. I want you to see how this read unfolds and what happens. What happens is, for Alabama, is you have two freshmen here fitting the run, and that's what I call getting double gap. Two guys taking one responsibility. One of them is wrong. Watch what happens. It's a free run to the end zone for Bo Nix. And again, you look and see how easy that is. You want to talk about a guy in heaven playing his very first Iron Bowl and winning. You're talking about a guy named Bo Nix.
Well done, gents. Come on back over. Let's go outside the footprint, shall we? Playoff implicating games all over the place, including former Bulldog Justin Fields in Ohio State. Yet another rout of Michigan, guys. 56-27. This one in Ann Arbor as they own the rivalry. They've beaten Michigan now 8 straight years. Meanwhile, Utah very much in the playoff picture. They clinch a spot in the Pac-12 title game with a 30-point win at home against Colorado. One-loss Utes will face two-loss Oregon in Santa Clara next week. How about Oklahoma winning Bedlam? How about Jalen Hurts with a touchdown catch as the Sooners win it by 18 points? That means they will play Baylor in a battle of one-loss teams for the Big 12 title next week. And then Minnesota. Get them out of the picture for the college football playoff. They suffered their second loss, this one by 3 touchdowns in the snow at home against Wisconsin. So, any question as to the top 4? Straight 28-10 your final. Meanwhile, after 4 seasons as head coach at his alma mater, Barry Odom has been released of his duties, fired by Missouri after a 6-6 season that started with so much hype and anticipation. People talking perhaps they could compete in the East. Was not the case. Athletics director Jim Sturk on why now to fire Odom.
Felt we lost momentum of the program and that it would be difficult for us under his leadership to continue to move it forward. Missouri has the resources to be a top 25 consistently in the postseason, to compete for championships. I think Coach Pinkel showed that in a couple times he went to the championship game in the SEC. I think with the investment that we've made recently in our South End Zone project, it puts us on a level as far as facilities that are second to none. So I'm excited about the future. I think we have a great opportunity moving forward. We have a lot of good players in our program that we want to build upon and get the right person in here, a really good coach to come in and take over. Football is our largest revenue driver, and so our ticket sales have continued to go down. We need, there's probably a $5 to $6 million range where just to get back where we were in 2014 or so. So we've got work to do. The decision today is part of that in getting back to that level.
Of course, his tenure ends with a 10-point win on Friday at Arkansas. Now, Gary Pinkel was the coach of Missouri the first 4 seasons Missouri was in the SEC. You see what he was able to do in a very successful 15-year run in Columbia. As for Barry Odom, his 4 seasons as head coach, 25-25 overall, and in 3 of those seasons, the Tigers lost at least 6 football games. You hate to see great men, great alums of a university in a position that Barry Odom now finds himself, but it's the nature of the beast, isn't it?
It is the nature of the beast. And if this guy sitting next to me got relieved of his duties after 2 years from winning a national championship, everybody's susceptible to that. But the problem that I have with this, Chiz, is that if you're going to make a move here at this point in time, you better make sure you have the right guy in place, because you don't want to find yourself looking at the 5th and 6th and 7th option. Now all of a sudden you're in a worse position. and you better be willing to invest. He talked about the resources. This is probably the second or third hardest place in the conference to win. They need to be given advantages of the recruiting and of the facilities to go out and get those guys out of state, because they don't have the talent in Missouri like they do in Texas and in Florida and some of the other places in our conference.
Yeah, this is the ugly side of college football, right? It just comes with the territory, and getting into this crazy business, you have to win. It's a results-oriented business. And look, it doesn't matter what anybody thinks, whether it was right or wrong. The people that matter are the administrative people and the donors that, make some of the decisions behind the scenes as well. But the bottom line is Barry Odom's a good football coach. He will survive this. He will come out of this thing okay. He'll end up getting another job if he wants another job, either as a coordinator or a head coach. But he made a comment right now earlier about, you look in the stands and the stands are empty. And I can tell you, if you're looking at a head coach that is struggling and you look just strictly at what the crowd size looks like, that's impending doom. If you look up on those stands and there's a bunch of empty seats, that's one of the telltale signs that they may make a change. You talk about...
We saw it at Arkansas.
Yeah, we saw it at Arkansas. So you're talking about losing momentum. But I agree with you, CD. So many days these guys think you can make changes and just swoop in there and get the right guy in there because you think everybody wants to go to your university, and all of a sudden you look down the list and you're on guy number 10 because the first 9 didn't want to go.
Yeah.
For a lot of different reasons. So you just got to be very careful and judicious when you're going to make a change. You better have the right guy in mind, and you better have a long list, because you can quickly get down to number 9 and 10. And I've seen it a bunch.
That is now 2 jobs.